What happened to Joan Risch? The housewife who vanished without a trace was a quiet autumn morning on October 24th, 1961, in the peaceful suburb of Lincoln, Massachusetts. Joan Risch, a 31-year-old housewife and mother of two, started her day like any other. She walked her 4-year-old daughter to a neighbor's house for a playdate. Nothing seemed out of place. She chatted casually, smiled. Then she returned home alone. That was the last confirmed moment anyone saw her safe. Hours passed. At around 2 p.m., a delivery man arrived with a package for the Risch home. The front door was slightly ajar. That alone was strange. But what he saw inside was far worse. A phone, ripped from the wall, lay on the floor, the table beside it knocked over. And then there was the blood. A massive trail of it, smeared and scattered, began in the kitchen and stretched into the hallway. It looked like someone had either been dragged or tried to drag themselves. Bloody fingerprints were found on the walls and the doorframe. On the counter sat a book about disappearances and missing people that Joan had apparently checked out from the library. But there were no signs of forced entry. Nothing stolen, no broken windows. No screams had been heard. Her 2-year-old son was still in his crib, unharmed. Whatever happened in that house, it all went down in silence. One neighbor later reported something haunting. Around 3:15 p.m., she saw a disoriented-looking woman walking along Route 2 at Gives. She was wearing clothes similar to Joan's. She was covered in blood, but by the time police arrived, she was gone. No one ever saw her again. Investigators searched everywhere, the woods, the nearby highway, even surrounding towns. They dragged ponds, used bloodhounds. Nothing. Not a body. Not a trace. Joan Risch had simply vanished. What makes this case so chilling is the details left behind. Joan wasn't some stranger with no ties. She was a well-educated former publishing assistant turned devoted wife and mother. She had no history of mental illness, no known enemies, no signs of abuse, no reason to run away. But some strange details came out. A friend mentioned Joan had recently been reading books about disappearances, true crime, kidnappings, and people who had left their lives behind. That's what made the open library book on the counter so eerie. It was about a woman who faked her own death and started a new life. Was that Joan's plan? Did she stage a crime scene and walk away? But if she did, how could she leave her children behind? Her baby was still in his crib. Her daughter expected her to come back. And why the blood? Over half a pint of it was found throughout the house. That's not the kind of detail you fake easily, especially not in 1961, long before forensic drama shows and Reddit theories. Then there's the theory of a botched abduction or a violent home invasion. But again, no signs of a break-in, no known stalkers. And no one heard a thing. The neighborhood was quiet, the kind of place where nothing ever happened until that day. More than 60 years have passed. The case remains open. Theories have come and gone. She ran away, was murdered, had a mental breakdown, was kidnapped by a stranger, or even accidentally killed by someone she knew. But none of them stick. There are no fingerprints that match. No witnesses who saw more. No confessions, no suspects. Just a smear of blood, a ripped-out phone, and an empty home. Joan Risch's name lives on in the files of Unsolved Mysteries. She didn't just disappear, she vanished perfectly. To this day, her story remains a haunting question. What really happened inside that house on October 24th, 1961? And how can someone just disappear, leaving behind only silence, blood, and a mystery that refuses to rest?